So DanDaDan is a new anime that's only come out like a couple months ago now, and it's been getting extremely popular despite only being out for a couple months. I know that it was originally like a web series that started back in 2021, but the anime first got released October of this year. And of course, when an anime gets extremely popular, there's always going to be a lot of fan art about that anime. Always. Whichever, even in other mediums, whether it's anime, animation, live action, whenever there's something that's popular, there's always going to be a whole load of fan art about it. But there is this one specific fan art that has caused so much controversy over the last week on Twitter. I mean, of course, whenever there's going to be some controversy about art specifically, of course it's going to be on Twitter, because there was an artist who released a piece of art on Twitter, a fan art of DanDaDan, and this is the art itself. Now, this piece got 59 million views. Now, that is a lot. Now, at this point of me talking, the artists themselves has actually privated their whole entire page. So, like, this whole entire, like, retweet, like, and bookmark of it is not me. This is just a screenshot that I've taken off of Twitter itself. But like I said, this got 59 million views up until the point of, at least my knowledge, like I said, the person who made this art has now completely privated their whole page. And I mean, just looking at this itself, if you don't know anything about DanDaDan, you're probably asking me, Donnie, why is this so controversial? Well, the character themselves that is on the left-hand side, in this fan art, they are depicted as black. But in the anime themselves, they are not. They are just your typical Asian character within an anime. So they are not black whatsoever. I'm pretty sure that they are depicted as Japanese. And this person right here has now gone ahead and made a fan art depicting this person as black. And just like anything, whenever there is any whitewashing, blackwashing, whenever there is any type of like racial change in a character, you know that Twitter itself is going to have an uproar about it. 110%. And like I said, this led to so much backlash that the artists themselves has actually privated their page. Now you're probably asking me, Donnie, who is it themselves that is actually like backlashing against this? Is it just some random stupid incels that are on the internet that like don't really matter about their opinions? And if it has to come to them, to be honest, like then yeah, I wouldn't really care about this and I wouldn't really think it's that bad. But some of the people who have actually been like voicing their opinions on this specific artwork has actually been Japanese people themselves, and they have not been happy whatsoever with this depiction of DanDaDan, as this is one of the posts that went extremely viral of them retweeting it from the original artist, where they said, and this is translated from Google, saying that there are still many racists who say that changing the race of a Japanese character is not discrimination. And as you can see from the quote, they say it's a great drawing because the character is not Japanese. If you point this out, you'll be called a racist. Their IQ is too low to even understand what discrimination is. And this isn't just the only person who has gone ahead and voiced their disgust with this fan art themselves, as this person right here comes out and says foreigners hate Japanese people, but they like manga and anime, so they are all racists who can change the race of Japanese characters they hate to make them better. Black people have a culture of victimhood and stealing, so they don't feel any discomfort in insulting Japanese people. They probably don't understand why more and more people are starting to hate black people in recent years. Another person comes out and says, why do people complain about the color when you draw an illustration of a black person, but you can make a white character black? And then this last one is, after all, black mold has invaded my brain, so I don't mind doing things like this. And you're probably going to ask me, Donnie, is this actually like Japanese people? Because we did have controversy when it came to Assassin's Creed Shadows. There was like a lot of Japanese comments of people voicing their disgust when it came to Yasuke and the way that they're depicting Japanese culture and the way that they're going about Assassin's Creed Shadows as well. And it turned out that a lot of those like Japanese comments just were actually English people who were like typing their disgust in English, translating to Japanese, and then posting their comments in Japanese. Well, I actually like looked up these people's profiles individually, at least except for the second one, because I couldn't find, like, all I did was for these are just a lot of screenshots that I found through Twitter. Some of these aren't ones that I've taken myself, but I did go on their profiles individually, the other three. I went on each three of these profiles and I had a look, and from what I can see, unless they speak Japanese like 24/7, but they're actually like English speaking people and from the Western culture, all of their pages were predominantly Japanese. Now, there were a couple others that I did see that were some people who, when I looked on their profiles, majority of their profiles were mostly English speaking, or if not all English speaking. So there could be a couple outliners of people just making it out like they are actual Japanese people. But from the ones that I showed, at least the three of them where they had their profiles in there, I did look on their profiles on Twitter to see that they actually were Japanese people. Now, when it comes to the art itself, me personally, when I first saw this, I'm more in the realm of I don't really care. I honestly don't. Like, when I saw this, I'm just like, whatever. Like, to me, it doesn't really bother me because it's not really my art and it's not really my culture. But if you yourself are taking another culture's, like, art or another culture's, you know, whatever it may be from someone else's culture, and if you don't know too much about Japanese culture, now me myself, you can probably see it just small in the background. Like, I've got Tokyo Ghoul box set here, and I've got like a Berserk here as well. I love manga and I love anime. I mean, like, I've got One Piece stuff all around here as well. So I love Japanese culture, not just manga and anime, but like I've been intrigued with Japanese culture for like 8 to 10 years now. Like, I would love to go visit Japan one day. It's one of the only countries that I would really love to go and visit. And I know that when it comes to anything in their culture, specifically when it comes to anime and manga, they take that stuff very seriously. And I mean, rightfully so, because it's part of their culture, and anything that's part of their culture, they're very sacred when it comes to stuff like this. So if you're taking something from their culture and you're changing it in a way that they don't like, I think that they have every right to voice their disgust with it. And it's really funny because I see the people who are defending the art and are going against the Japanese people are people from the Western culture. And it's like, you have no right to do that. If someone from that culture is saying that we don't like you doing this, we don't like the fact that you're taking this Japanese person and turning them into a black person, don't do that. We don't like when you do that. Keep that person. Yes, you can draw any type of fan art you want. I mean, I literally searched up DanDaDan fan art onto Twitter. Don't do it because it was NSFW stuff. Like, literally, I scrolled down a little bit, and before I knew it, I started seeing dicks and boobs and vaginas. So, I mean, do it if you want, but I'm just saying. Yeah, so when it comes to stuff like that, I mean, they don't really have anything wrong when it comes to NSFW stuff. But obviously, when it comes to, you know, changing the race, changing the culture of certain characters, they definitely have a problem with it. And I mean, considering that there's, like, you know, the race wars that have been going on the internet for years, I mean, it's kind of understandable. Let's be honest. There has been, whether you like it or not. You know, when it comes to changing the race of different characters, it's been happening for years, not just in like Eastern culture as well. It's been happening in Western culture for a long time now. If you look at like certain TV shows, certain movies that have come out over the last few years where they're like taking something that's already existed for a long period of time and then they're taking that character and then changing their race, people are kind of sick of it. I mean, one of the most recent arguments with that has been Snow White, where they've taken a character with the name Snow White because of the white of her skin is so pale, and then they've put an African-American actress into that role. A lot of people are just kind of sick and tired of them changing the race of characters. So that's what it's led to. And obviously in the Eastern culture, you know, when it comes to Japan and anywhere else in East Asia as well, they don't really take that crap. Like, they don't. They just see it and they're just like, this is fucking stupid. So they don't really like deal with it like we do in the West, where we're like, oh no, inclusion and this and that. They don't give a shit about that. Like, they are completely different to how the Western culture deals with things. So when it comes to me, if these people who are actually Japanese have a problem with this, I think they have every right to, because it's their culture. It's their culture. And if they don't like you doing it, then you shouldn't do it. And if you are from the Western culture and you are saying like, oh, let them do what they want, it's their art. It's their medium. If someone from that part of the world where this originally came from don't like the way it's going, I feel like you got to respect that. I feel like 100% you got to respect that. But each to their own opinion at the same time as well. If you think that this is absolutely fine, then whatever. That's fine as well. But I would definitely like to hear what you have to think about all this down below. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.